Yes, it's yet another Thursday evening. Thank you so much for being our loyal viewer right here on Y254 TV. This is your number one youth station. We are coming to you live from the broadcasting house here in Nairobi, Kenya. Remember, this is the best place to be each and every Thursday. My name is Aguko, and this is Power Talk. It's a pleasure being with you today. And remember, repeat of this show is again every Friday at noon. Head over to our YouTube channel where all our programs that we've had before are lined up for you. And of course, the social media handles are up and running. The hashtag, as always, is Power Talk Show. At Aguko, which is my handle, the official station handle is at Y254 channel. Thank you so much for sticking with us tonight on this fine Thursday evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this conversation is one that many of our viewers have been proposing for us to do. And today we decided to, give it a shot. So, what are the guidelines of settling down? Do you want to settle down? Are you interested in settling down? Do you have a plan that at a particular time or season you want to have managed to do that? And you're interested in finding out what steps you should take so that you don't mess it up? Well, this conversation is for you because tonight we're talking about guidelines of settling down. And to help us in this conversation, I am with Reverend Kochoo to my far right. He is a pastor, a mentor, a counselor, and a conference speaker. And next to him is none other than Sheila Nyambura, a media personality. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
How are you guys feeling? Sheila.
I cannot wait to start this topic. I hope I feel it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice. How are you feeling, my brother?
Very happy, very peaceful.
It's been a while
This is one conversation that I look forward to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was saying it's been a while since you came. I don't know how long it has taken.
Yeah.
Is this the first time this year?
Yeah, this year first time.
This year?
Yeah, we were to have this, remember, sometimes back.
Yeah, and we postponed.
Yeah.
But it's good to have the both of you. Sheila, first time on the show.
Yeah.
Looking forward to having a lot of conversations with you. And of course, even I'm also looking forward to engaging with you guys from home. I love how you guys have been, participating on our shows. And I want to say asante sana for being our loyal supporters. So head over to our Facebook page. That's Y254. And engage with us. Use Twitter if you so desire. Use the hashtag Power Talk Show. At Aguko, which is my handle, tag me, and the station handle is Y254 channel. Let's talk about settling down, guidelines. You don't want to miss this. Let me start with you. Now, even as we talk about settling down, before we even touch on the guidelines, one thing that intrigues me, because I have attended so many seminars, so many youth conferences, so many debates where youth are talking about settling down, and one of the first questions they ask is, at what age am I required to settle down? What is the best time for somebody to settle down, in your view?
Well, that's a wide conversation going on because like in Kenya now, we have the aspect of the constitution in it, where the Kenyan constitution say that when you are over 18, then you can talk about settling down. But as a servant of God and as a minister of the word, I can get back to the Bible. The conversation begins when God said it is not good for a man to be alone. The word man is very key. So many people want us to just say it is not good to be alone, but when you omit the word man, it becomes meaningless and it makes God look like just somebody who is just speaking narratives. So man is very key. Man meaning somebody able enough to be responsible, somebody mature enough to know what he or she is engaging himself or herself into. somebody who is able to understand the compound called marriage or relationship. How do I behave with it? How do I handle it? And when it comes to differences and conflicts, am I mature enough to understand how to navigate and come up with a solution? So it might not be an issue of the numbers or the days or the weeks, but are you mature? And if I'm to say that, or to mention an age, then I would say somebody past 25 is able to now understand some things. Yeah.
But your focus is maturity first.
My focus is maturity first.
Even the age.
Yeah, because you know, in Kenya, even 16 people of 16 years of age, I talk about marriage. Some of them are in marriage before 15.
But they're underage.
They are underage. And then later you realize there are consequences that comes with it. So I talk about maturity. My focus first is maturity.
Sheila, what time do you feel it's good for somebody to settle down? If it were within your power, unge settle down kako how old?
Well, I can agree with him when he says that the maturity part, but also the age. Okay, age doesn't really matter when you can settle. You can settle at 19 if you want to, but you're still a teenager. But sometimes the age does matter, because not everyone is mature even at 40. Some guys or some men are not even mature at 40.
Good point there. Maturity doesn't come with age,
yes.
Always.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think there's a particular age or number that you should settle at that time. But I feel like when you feel you're ready, then maybe you can settle. But age does not really determine your maturity or anything like that. Settling is really, it's something that you really have to be serious about, and you've thought about it really clearly, because waking up next to someone every day, it's a really serious thing. I can't imagine seeing someone's face every day for the rest of my life. But it's something that you have to be, you know, you're ready mentally, emotionally, you're ready to settle with someone. So age does not really matter at all.
Have you ever thought of settling down? Have you?
Well, not really. I'm very far. I don't think maybe once.
Has it come to your mind?
It has come to my mind, yes, but I've never really paid too much attention to it. But it has, yes.
Okay.
I want to settle at some point in life. I want to probably get married and all that. But whenever I'm ready, because at this point I don't feel ready. I bet you've seen videos on social media where guys are proposing to girls.
Yeah, and they walk away.
And they walk away, you see.
My
and,
God.
and this guy is just rejected in front of like everyone, and he's just on social media. So, yes, people think about it, but you have also to be careful. Just be ready before you want to settle with someone.
Do you feel like there are steps that people should take before they come to that particular level where they have settled down?
Not steps per se, but you could say maybe courtship, the stages, I think I might say that. You know, you have to court someone, you get to know them maybe for a certain time, and then maybe then you can, you know, think of such, you know, settling and all.
How old? How
but
long?
But you can't. Now that's another thing. Because you can say at the I can date. You know, there are people who have dated for almost like 2 years. And this guy's even taken the girl to their parents, and they introduced them like their girlfriend and wife to be soon, or probably something like that. But they end up being with someone who they've met a month, and then a month later, and they get married, and they're happily living together for like years and years. So there's, you know what? Kitu inanga hesabu. You know, it just.
Inanga hesabu. Let me come to you in regards to this, because we are talking about guidelines to settling down. Now, I want us to establish some grounds here, because you have thought of settling down.
Yes.
So has many people. So have many people who are thinking of settling down. You have settled down, been married for many years now. Before you settle down, you're talking about before you settle down. Are there things that youths need to do before they think of settling down, or even starting the process of settling down?
So many things, you know. The success of marriage is not into entering into marriage. How you are prepared for it.
How ready you are.
Now, there is up to some level that age matters. And this is why our generation today would wed today, the next 1 week, the ring is thrown away. Somebody's running back to live with the parents because he or she thought that she is mature or he is mature, then realizing later that he's not ready for what he's seeing. So there is up to some extent that age matters. But above issue of age, maturity matters. This is why God was very specific. It is not good for a man to be alone. And the word man meaning, one, somebody mature, somebody able to lead, able to rule, able to understand. I can't really be part of something called marriage with somebody under 13 or under 15 years. That's underage. That's a child that needs to grow up. So age matters in this conversation. Age matters in matters relationship. But now above age, are you mature for what you are involved in? Now, you asked about so many things that you must do. One is about preparation.
Before you settle down.
This preparation begins with me. It doesn't begin with the person I need. It begins with me. Number one, this part of preparation that we need to look at before you settle down is your identity. A man who is not led by God probably might not lead a family. So I must define my identity in God.
What if someone doesn't believe in God?
Now let me tell you something.
Unafanya hivi.
Let me tell you why. Marriage is not somebody's idea. Marriage is God's idea, whether you are saved or not.
Okay.
Yeah. Marriage was initiated by God. It was God's idea. It was not man's idea or him. Actually, Adam was feeling okay until God came with an idea. So whether you are saved, whether you are Christian or not, marriage remains God's idea. And the blueprint is not with Satan. The blueprint is not with Americans or Kenyans. The blueprint is with God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why we start by defining your identity in God. Whether you are a believer or not, you must define your identity with God.
So you're saying the first thing you need to do is to define who you are.
Yeah.
Know your identity.
Who are you?
Before you start thinking of settling down.
I want to settle somebody's daughter. Who is me? Which animal am I? What am I able to do? What am I? Because if you settle with somebody and you don't even know who you are, then this person begins to raise some things that he's seeing in you. You will think that this person is a bother.
Do you agree with that? Do you feel like that is an important thing? Things to do before you even think of settling down?
Know God. Well, I'm raised as a Christian, so I believe that marriage is godly, as they say. So if you're getting married, well, at some point, yes, but not nowadays. I don't think most people really are into Christianity like that. So I don't think some people would be like, my first identity is that I know God, so that's why I'll be able to get married. I'm to come you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's difficult. Well, it's a conversation that people should have, but also it's difficult for most youth. You can't convince a youth that for them to get married, they need to know God or anything like that. Yeah, you see.
Okay.
They just think of I'm with this partner, I love them, I want to get married. That's it. They don't think of it. Because even people who are married and they went through the church just to get married, if it's a godly thing, why do they act like sometimes it's not a godly thing when they are in together? So it's...
Okay. The way they treat each other as they're married.
But to bring it to the point that you had asked earlier on, what are the guidelines of maybe to get into preparation to getting married?
Yeah.
I think maybe people should have fun more. You have fun more. I agree with the identity. You should know yourself. Know yourself before you get into marriage. So you just have fun, enjoy yourself, know who you are. That's the only way you'll be able to be with someone else until you know who you really are. Because it's really hard to be in a relationship or in a marriage when you don't even know yourself, To avoid the cases where people are married and then they're just out being with other people,
Okay.
Yeah, so just know yourself.
I love the fact that we are getting diverse views on this, because she's saying not every youth would associate themselves with an individual or an entity defined as God in their marriage. Yet you say that marriage is God's idea. Therefore, we need to associate ourselves with God first before we even think of settling down. Very, very strong points there. But let me come to you, Evans. There. In this particular journey towards settling down, you've said that among many things, the key areas are: 1, know thyself; 2, know your God, know your Creator. Of course, in no particular order or priority. So if these two things are important, and someone has considered these particular aspects, does it mean that what she is saying, those who do not associate themselves with God have a high likelihood of having failed marriages, so that when they settle down, it collapses?
Marriage is a mystery. It collapses in the hands of both Christians and non-Christians. But the foundation is very important. Let me tell you something. I'm a counselor, and I've been in marriage now for 16 years. And I meet people. The market, the idea that is the marketplace is that once I have somebody I love, we can just have fun, we enjoy, then we settle down. But I won't take this to the bank. In the next 1 year, these people are running to a counselor to counsel them. Because if God is not part of your beginning, and you know, this is not an idea that I must first of all go to a church and bow down, you know, lie down and be this, you know, to get married. But the idea is God part of your beginning?
Is he the pillar?
Is he the foundation of your beginning?
The foundation.
If God is not part of your foundation or the beginning, it can never be part of the process, and it can never be part of the end. So this is why marriage, the idea about marriage has become so cheap that nowadays it's like a sightseeing thing. We just get into it after a month. Or have you heard about these things like come we stay?
Yeah.
Yeah, come we stay, let's try it. Then people, you are busy kissing somebody who is a stranger to you for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Then you say, I can see you are not compatible, let's leave each other. It is because we have cheapened, or we have reduced marriage to just like a business idea that you can just try this selling sweets, and if it doesn't work, can I try rice? It doesn't work, can I try maize? Marriage is holy, number one. Marriage was ordained by God. Marriage was God's idea. So long as it remains God's idea, you cannot run with it without God.
Sheila, let me come to you. Are there those things that you feel, because vijana wanawatch leo, youths, ladies, gentlemen, they're watching, and the question that someone may ask themselves is, are there those things that if someone doesn't have, they would rather not settle down?
The deal breakers.
Yeah, that you would rather just stay single. I don't know if you call them deal breakers, but you would rather stay single, just stay as you are.
Yeah.
And if you don't have these things, just stay as you are. Don't settle down. Do we have those things?
Well, I won't speak for myself, but I would say the most number is...
Well, you can even speak for yourself.
No, I don't want to do that. But I would say the most, like the deal breaker for most people is the financial stability right now. If you can't be with someone like who is financially stable, that's a deal breaker. You'd rather stay single if you're not going to help each other.
What if he's a good guy?
What if he's a good
heart? God-fearing, tall, dark, and handsome. My goodness.
God-fearing and handsome. You see, we all, like even now, you might be the best man in the world, the tall, dark, handsome, and all that. But at the end of the day, we'll need to, you know, to cater for our needs financially. Yes, that's a deal breaker for most people. I'm not even lying. A lot of people will look at that first, because we are all trying to, you know, do this thing called life together. So we need that money. We need to help each other financially. Financial it's really important. You just can't say that you're told that. So now, how is that even going to pay the bills? Honestly,
How will that
but
be
if the man, if
will you
it's-
eat the tallness?
exactly, or the melanin, you know, if it's an outgoing man who is, you know, pushing himself, probably that one you can give a chance. But just again, you don't know how long it's going to push. You know, the patience.
But even as a lady, it's not like you're
You're not
become-
financially stable. And
Yeah.
when I say financial stability, I don't mean that you have millions in your bank.
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying. Am I you coming from a millionaire family? If you're capable to earn something, you have a good job, you're capable to pay for your bills and cater for, you know, yourself, that's financially enough for someone, you know. But now that a man who's not working and then you're working, it's not going to work. So financial stability, I feel like it's one of the deal breakers where most people think at this generation, you'd rather be alone than be with someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. Bila pesa, kaa kando.
Pesa muhimu.
Let me have your voice on that. Add your voice. Do you feel like there are those things that if someone hasn't done, you'd rather stay single and not settle down?
Well, up to some point I agree with her, because responsibility of a man, for if I speak from a man's perspective, is to provide. You will not provide by prayers and making somebody, you know, deforming somebody's daughter's shape, and you know, you have to have money to put food on top of the table.
So the both of you agree that money has to be there.
Money has to be there.
How
but,
much money is enough money?
Let me put this.
Yeah.
Money has to be there, but money is not everything. Because
Must have not had enough money then. Money is everything.
Money is everything.
money is not everything, Ram.
goodness.
I have seen people with money and marriages and relationships collapse in their hands. They have money. I've prayed people, professors, doctors, and the marriage is collapsing in their hands. So money is good because money will facilitate us to do what it needs to be done in the compound called marriage. But it is not everything. I would say that yes, a man should have something he's doing that at the end of the day is able to pay the bills, provide for this family is nurturing or is raising, provide for his wife, provide for the children or children to come, being ready that if a child is coming here, there will be these needs, pampers and all these things, like I'm able to provide. So that is, I agree with her that money should be there, but money is not everything.
Let me break this conversation down.
Yes.
And get some nuggets out of it.
Yes, yes.
Let's start with employment, because that's where the issue can be.
Yeah, yeah.
Before settling down, who is it that should be most preferably employed?
Both.
Most preferably.
Yeah, both.
You're saying both?
Both.
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 Yeah. You're there
Because
to
we are all building this family.
exactly.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
But the man, the man though. Okay, I'm not saying that. Okay, I know what everyone is thinking, but you know sometimes. Well,
I know what you
they
want to
say
say.
the man is the head. Okay, if you are earning more than the woman,
Yeah.
well, that's even much better, you know. But I feel like both genders should be employed. Yeah.
Before settling down.
Yeah, of course.
Now, to pick a sabu,
Okay.
you've just finished campus, graduated. In many circumstances, somebody doesn't always get a job immediately. This is, at what age do most people graduate? 26?
26, 25.
23, 20.
23?
Some even 23.
23, yeah?
Yeah, 22, 23.
Okay, assuming whichever age someone graduates, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, whichever age, you do not always get employment immediately. It doesn't always come. So if you're saying that you should get a job before you settle down, this person doesn't have the ability to get this particular job for a reason or the other. There are no jobs. Should they stay single?
The thing is, it's not just like you have to get a job. Like I trained as a clinical officer, so I have to be in the hospital working. Am I able to get out of my way to do something that at the end of the day, I'm able to pay my house rent, I'm able to, have my fare, I'm able to at least provide, I'm able to even take this lady out, even for coffee.
Okay.
So I don't need to wait until I get that journalism job that I did in campus, because I might wait that forever. So will I stay forever without marriage because I don't have a job? So are you able, being responsible doesn't mean that you must have that job, the one that ulifanya kwa university, Are you able to get out of here? I've seen graduates get even to Mjengo. And, at the end of the day, get money to pay.
They put food on the table?
Yeah. They're able to get out of their way and put food on top of the table. Yeah.
Don't rush.
Don't rush.
Don't rush. Just chill, man. Chill. Just chill. There's no need of, marriage is not like a trophy or anything that you're winning.
Yeah.
It's not. Just chill. You don't have to, rush into it just because you see your peers are rushing into it. Just wait for your moment. There's no need. You see, money, employment does not determine the marriage thing. Don't rush into it. You just wait until you're able. When you feel like you're settled enough, when you find someone who's perfect for you and you feel like they will take you as you are. So when you say that because someone is not employed, they shouldn't get married, it's like you're saying now all the employed people now should get married because they're employed.
We will get there. We will get to those who are now employed. But now we are recommending that if you do not have a job, concentrate on building yourself first instead of concentrating on settling down.
Yes, if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to be able to take care of someone else? Wow. First deal with yourself, and then maybe you can start thinking of the second person now in your life.
All right.
Yeah.
I agree.
You're welcome.
I agree. I want us to take a short break. And then we'll be back. After this break, let's break it down. Let's ask ourselves questions. What about preferences? Somebody saying, I prefer this particular person from this particular person, and the kind of people you meet are not the ones that you want to settle down with. Do you always end up having married? For those who are married, did you marry that person that you had a checklist? Ukaweka tick. Tips of settling down. Let's take a short break. We'll be back in a bit.
Y254. Imagine.
All right, welcome back. We continue with this conversation right here tonight on the Power Talk Show. It's all about matters concerning settling down. What are the tips or guidelines of settling down? Those are some of the issues we are discussing today. I'm with Reverend Evans, Kochoo, and Sheila Nyambura here, media personality, Sheila, and pastor, mentor, counselor, conference speaker. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And thank you so much for tuning into Y254. We proceed with this conversation. And of course, I shall sample your feedback on Facebook in a bit, but let's proceed with the conversation so that we can be able to tackle some of these issues here. Before we went on that break, we were talking about getting a job before settling down. Find something to do that will enable you to take care of yourself and your woman. That's settled.
Yeah.
Now, I want us to tackle a few other issues. Let's now breaking down into some nitty-gritties here. What should someone have? Should someone have a checklist of saying that this is my type of person before settling down? You have a meeting with yourself, you call yourself to order and say that this is my type of person. You write a checklist. 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Or should someone say, that as long as they are good at heart, that they're good then for you, what are some of those checklists that we should be having? Let me start with this time around, Sheila. Should you have a checklist or not? And just say as long as he's serious, then he's good to go.
Well, okay, I'll say this first. There are people who have checklists and they find this person almost fits the description of what the checklist looks like. Those people are outliers. But there are also people who have the checklist, but they never find this man, but they end up marrying a very good man who is not even close to the checklist that they had. So what I would say is, you vibe with someone, you get to know them as they are. Putting down a checklist can't guarantee you a good man, and can't guarantee you that you'll find that man that you want. It's really hard to. You can't, not unless you want to build your own man just from, from the bottom, but you can't write a checklist on someone that you really want. Maybe you can just say you want, but also it depends with what the checklist has. What do you mean by a checklist? Is it someone like a tall, dark, and handsome? Or is it a good man, someone who treats everyone nicely? He's good to your parents.
Let me ask you, Sheila. Coming from the perspective of a lady,
okay.
Do ladies have
Preferences.
huh? Preferences, yes.
Yeah.
Good term. Preferences. A list of preferences
Yeah.
that they expect from a man.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah.
And is this list always considered before settling down? Would you consider your own list?
Well, I don't have a list, but yeah, you would want to look at that, because when you're talking about settling, it's someone that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, or most of your years with. So maybe you'd want to be sure of the person that you want to be with. Well, a checklist is not really, it doesn't really matter, but it's really good also, because you need a man maybe who he's good to your parents, a man who treats you nicely, who is also honest with you and open with you. I think maybe if I had a checklist, that's something that I will put down.
Remember the checklist also connects to the first part of the conversation where we're talking about deal breakers.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And for some ladies, they'll be like, was he good to the waiter?
Exactly.
Then I cannot settle down with this person because he shouted at the waiter.
Exactly, and that's what I said. You should be with someone who you know this man, the way he treats people. Because the way he treats someone who is, below them, you don't know how he'll treat you. Or even maybe if you meet your parents, or even maybe your friends, you don't know how he's going to treat you. A man should be nice. A man should be honest. He should be, a gentleman. So we have checklists. We all do have checklists.
I don't know. Those who are married and are watching tonight, talk to me. The person that you're married to, do they fit your checklist?
maybe it does 50% or maybe 30%. But ladies, even for guys, I know even guys have them. Guys are really, especially guys, guys can be really selfish. They have a checklist. There is no lie in that. So they know what they really want, even for girls, and I feel like even ladies should also have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evans.
Checklist is okay, but if it is perfection driven, then it is wrong.
Define that. Differentiate between the two. Just having a normal checklist and one that is perfection driven.
If you're looking for perfection in somebody you want to marry, you'll never get that. Because you yourself, you're not perfect. You should not expect perfection in other people. So one of the biggest problem, most of from men's side, they are looking for perfection in ladies. This lady who has now fault, ana makosa, kila kitu iko sawa. You'll never find that woman. They will try to be very nice people in the first day, but later you realize when she comes down to herself, then you realize she's not perfect. So if your list or your checklist was perfection oriented, you'll never get person to settle down with. But I would say that the checklist should be character driven.
Okay.
Yeah, this person I want to marry, what about her emotions? What about how she's dealing with people? What about how she accommodates people? What about discipline and respect.
Okay.
What about her nature of handling conflict, differences,
All right.
all these things.
All right.
And I would agree with her that even this, the character-driven checklist, you'll not score it 100%. And if you want to look for this perfect woman or this woman that will score 100%, you'll get old looking for that woman.
You get old.
Yeah.
Because no one is perfect.
No one is perfect.
No one is perfect.
Yeah.
I agree.
If I get 50%, that's a good woman. Yeah.
At least
if
some,
I get, even if I get just 30.
but at least there's some things that you should like.
Yes.
In this person.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. But the one thing I want to say, you will realize that some of these checklists we're talking about, they are not things that you think somebody is born with, atakuja kama is ready-made. Some of these things that, they are things that we develop ourselves. So I would be saying that I want this in her, but later to realize that what I need in her is something that we need to be together, to build each other together and achieve what I think should be there. Yeah.
All right. I want us to tackle on so many things, but let me head over to Facebook here. Timothy, you can bring it up. This is a question by Senta Waizera. And Anasema, interesting discussion right there. Thank you so much, Senta, for tuning in. And Anasema, I'm supporting Pasi 101%. Foundation matters a lot. What can really count is if God is your author. Because what happens is God chooses a spouse for you. Pasi, I have a question for you. What happens? Let's say there's a couple and they messed up. Can they still get married? Dan Villa anasema keep up the good work. Racha Jose anasema keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Racha and Dan. This question comes to you. We will Timothy, let's just go to the previous one. Yeah, let's answer this one. Cindy, let's say there's a couple and they messed up. Can they still get married? I believe this is someone that is particularly talking about a couple that has managed to sleep together. Unless I'm wrong.
All right.
Yeah. So can they still get married? Unless, what do you refer to when you're talking about messing up?
Messing up as a lot of things, but anyway, that could be one of them.
That could be one of them.
These people can still get married. Yeah, if the understanding is very clear, and they both agree that we made a mistake to mess up before our marriage. If they are Christians, most of, because if we look at it from the Christian perspective, then we'll say these people messed up. But from those people who are not believers, they'll get back to what my sister said, that having fun. Having fun is a general term that would mean a lot of things. Having fun, some of them knowing each other sexually. So in the world there it is normal, but when it comes to Christianity, it's not normal.
But they can still,
so these
they
people
still get married?
Can still get married.
Okay.
But they will have to build their trust.
They need to sit down and agree together first.
Yeah, and build their trust, because this lady will say the same way, the man will say that the same way it was very easy for you to open up for me and lie down for me, the same way it will be easy for you
to do it with someone
and
else.
the lady will also say that, okay, the same way you were able to convince me to bed, the same way you can convince another person to bed. So it will bring a lot of trust issues, but if they both agree and they're willing, they can build that trust together.
All right, let's proceed, Timothy. Cinta, I hope you are answered. I don't know if Sheila, you have something to say about that?
Well, I agree with him. I agree with the pastor. They should sit down and talk about it and see how it goes.
Okay.
Yes.
Arrow Boy, anasema keep up the good work. Asante sana Arrow Boy. DJ King Spice, anasema how can I know my better half? Hey, that's a discussion for another day. Timothy, we should have that one.
But a good question. Huh? But a good question.
Good question?
Yeah.
How can I know she's the one or he is the one?
That's a good question.
Mutuiri Karani Dennis anasema outer Murang'a University tuko tune in. Asante sana. DJ King Spice amekuja na swali lingine. Pia nauliza, what's the difference between lust and true love? Oh, okay, I get you. What's the difference between lust and true love? Wow. That is also a big topic. I don't know how we are going
lust
to
of LU, I think so. Huh? Lust of LU, and I think so.
Yeah, it is lust of LUST and true love. So Tujibu hii ama tuseme we answer it another day. Would you like to give it a shot? Within 30 seconds.
Those two questions are very important questions.
Yes.
That can form a big and a wide conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
But love is in 4 forms. What we call love is defined in 4 forms. Number 1, there is what we call phileo, that is friendly love. Sterego, which is brotherly love. Eros, which is coming from the word erotic, it is lust. It comes from the feelings of the body and seeing somebody and being attracted to the body. And there is agape, which is divine. So true love is defined by agape, because love is beyond feelings. Love is not feelings. You can still feel for somebody. You can feel for somebody you don't love. You can have feelings for somebody you don't love, or somebody doesn't love you.
We will tackle that on another day. We will. That's a topic. Sit there, my brother. Eh? That's my cameraman here. He agrees. Those 2 topics will be tackled on another day. Timothy and Cheryl, mfikirie kuhusu hiyo maneno.
Yeah.
Question ya kwanza ilikuwa kuhusu lust and love. Ya pili ilikuwa kuhusu
Marriage. They should get married.
How do you know?
How do you know he's the one? Yeah. Do you have something to say before we move forward about those 2 briefly?
I agree. It's a really wide topic, so
Yeah.
we will have to diverse so much if we talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will have to change. So let's just proceed with this particular conversation. We will set up a day for that. Its own show, okay? I assure you, it is coming. So I want us to proceed with this conversation, but of course, thank you so much for your participation. Keep letting us know where you're watching us from and giving us your thoughts in regards to this particular matter. And of course, keep also suggesting topics you feel you want us to tackle. I will really appreciate your feedback. So I want us to tackle still settling down. There are those things that people always look out for before they settle down. For example, how well do I know this person? Yeah. How well do I know this person? For example, how free is this person with me? Do you feel like those are important aspects to consider? How free is this person with me? How open is this person with me? Does this person invite me to their family events? Does he introduce me to his friends or her friends? Does he want me to meet the family? Do you feel like those are important things to consider? Do they share their future plans with me? Let's talk about that. I'll start with you, Sheila.
I think it's really important. It's really important if you're planning to settle with someone, you know their friends, you've met their family, they share what their dreams are and what they see their future looking like with you in it. So it's really important. But also, it's really tricky. With nowadays, I don't know about back in the days because I'm not from those days. But if I speak for like these times that I'm living in right now, it's really tricky. You know, you might expect your partner to introduce you to their parents. You might expect your partner to introduce you to their friends. But is it really genuine? You know? But it's really important.
But so if your partner claims that they want to marry you or get married to you,
yes,
and they do not introduce you to their family or friends, is that a sign that this person is not ready to settle down with you?
Yes, that's a red flag. It's a big red flag.
I agree.
Okay.
You should. How am I going to marry you and I don't know your people?
Guidelines towards settling down.
Yes.
Good. All right. What about sharing their plans? Yes.
You know, I feel like it's really good if they share their plans with you to also see who am I really going to marry. You know, if I come to you and I tell you maybe I have probably this amount of money and I don't know what to do with it, I just want to hear your opinion on it. If you're the type of person to tell me let's do this and that and it's not making sense or it's not aligning to what I would really want, then that's a red flag. And you're like, probably this person is the right person to be with. It's really important if you share what you really want to do with your future.
And I will come back on the aspects of planning a bit later. let me come to you on the same. Let's start first of all with aspects of introductions, getting to know their family and friends. Is it important as you're planning on settling down? Is it something that should be under your list of achievements towards settling down?
Very, very important, because marriage is a serious institution.
Yeah.
That you don't need to get into marriage with a stranger.
Yes.
Then later you begin getting surprises that, oh, this is my cousin. Oh, who was that? I saw you hugging somebody. Ah, that's my cousin. But how is it that this cousin was not introduced to me when we were, in courtship? So that introduction aspect is very important. And I want to help the ladies. I'm a man. Let me tell the ladies a secret.
Okay, give
If you want to know, if you want to know a good man who is going to marry you, that's a very simple question. Let's say that you're married today. Where do you see us in the next 5 years or 10 years? If a man is not able to answer that question, run as fast as your thin legs can carry you.
Are you saying that as you're going on a date, mwangaliane ana kwa ana, uso kwa uso, and then you ask yourself, as if it's a job interview, where do you see us in the next 5 years?
Do you know?
Is that a question we should ask each other?
Do you know what that question is going to give birth to?
What is it?
You are able to know if this man is having vision. Because we are not marrying to reproduce children. We are not just marrying to make somebody pregnant and have children tomorrow. We are getting married to build a family. Family is not just being built by making somebody pregnant and, at the end of the day, the kid is there. The family is built with the vision you are having. What vision are you having for us? And if a man is visionless, the Bible tells you that without vision, people perish. Are you ready to settle down with somebody who is going to perish in the next 2 or 3 years?
So we all agree that if somebody
Vision disciplines me. Because I have a vision to raise this family, number one, I'll be disciplined to make sure that we agree with this lady. We walk together in understanding. We build things together. I know that I have somebody I'm working to make proud. So if a man does not have a vision, that is a man who doesn't deserve a wife.
What about the plans?
That is what I'm talking about.
You share each other's plans.
Exactly.
You share plans with each other.
Once I've answered her question,
okay,
I should also know what about her. Yes, this is where I see us in the next 10 years. God willing, I'm trusting God that this is what I want to achieve. Then this lady should also tell me that, where do you want to be?
Now you remember that part when I said that we are going to discuss the planning issue?
Yes, yes.
Now this is where I want to place it now. What if, and this goes to the both of you, you've managed to discuss future plans and then you realize the target they have is not the target you have. Their desire is not your desire. Where they see themselves in 2 years is not where you see yourself in 2 years. They may want children, you do not want children. In 1 year's time, they may want 2 kids. Not two, I mean a kid. And for you, in 1 year's time, you do not want any child. Where plans conflict, is it a sign that you ought not to settle down with each other? Is it a problem? Sheila.
Not really. I believe you can talk it out and find a middle ground for both of you, how you can, manage it. But the problem is if it's dragged on for a long time, maybe in the marriage, then there will be so much conflict that maybe it will lead even to separation. But as you said, like the example that you said, that if someone is planning to have a kid in an year and the other one is focusing maybe in their career, that might have some tension into that.
Because you're talking about settling down with each other.
Yes,
so that conversation is very important.
It's very important. You need to have it so that you can know when you get into this boat together, you're all going on one side, You need to agree on some things. But it does not mean necessarily that you guys have to break it off because, you're not agreeing on some things.
Briefly.
What are you sacrificing for us to come together? So I agree with her that it doesn't mean that if we are not able to agree about when we need to have children, then we are not supposed to get married. We can come together, talk. Then I say, okay, can I sacrifice this? You also sacrifice this, then we meet somewhere. Yeah. So marriage is about compromising something so that you reach to a place of agreement.
And ladies and gentlemen, because of time, let's wrap it up at that particular level. But at least we've managed to tackle some very important areas.
Yeah.
Guidelines to settling down. Let me give you time to have a final word within just 30 seconds or so. What's your final word to Kimalizia? Talk to people as we bring this conversation to a close.
So basically, when you're settling, you have to be sure, you have to know the person you're being with. Let them be a friend. Let them be someone that, you know, you can be okay with for the rest of your life. If that's not the case, if you're not the type of person, you know, you're not ready to settle, take your time with that also. There's no rush. It's not like something you're going to win at the end of it all. Just take your time with yourself and all will be well.
All right. Final word.
The Bible says that the preparation of the heart belongs to a man, and the answer of the tongue belongs to God. A man who is going to succeed in marriage must be a man who is prepared and ready for what he's getting involved in. I want to make a request or a plea to all men: prepare for it. Have a house. Have things in that house. Prepare the man that you want to present before that great woman.
All right.
That this is the husband that you married.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That is Reverend Evans Kochoo and Sheila Nyambura in this conversation. Let's bring this conversation to a close. Something for you to think about here. Bring it up, Timothy. After a certain age, everyone plans to settle down. However, these days people are more concerned with their partner's appearance and their friends' approval or what their partner did in the past rather than focusing on whether that person is ethical, compassionate, adaptable, educated, financially secure, able to run a house, or able to raise children.
Exactly.
Something for you to think about even as we wrap this conversation up, as we talk about matters concerning settling down. It has been a pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for being with us. And of course, there are some things that my director has just told me that we will tackle them next time. Umesema ile maswali ya yule jamaa, si ndio?
Yeah, how do I know my spouse?
Yeah, I don't know my spouse.
Yeah.
Maybe na nyinyi. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking with us. It has been a pleasure being with you. My name is Aguko, and this is Power Talk.
Oh, awesome. I was expecting Stephanie. What happened?